Dealers charge a stupid amount of money to change your oil, especially if you have a Ram 2500 or 3500 with a 6.7 liter Cummins turbo diesel. In this video, I'm going to show you how to save a bunch of money and do it yourself. Y'all stick around. Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name's Clint. We got the Ram 2500 in the shop today. We got a trip coming up and I needed to change the oil. And since this channel focuses on do-it-yourself, I thought this would be a good opportunity to go ahead and show y'all how to do it. Time has been pretty tight around here, and I called the dealer to get a quote on what it would cost to change the oil. I nearly fell out of my seat when they told me $827 to change the oil filter, and 2 fuel filters. I was like, ain't no way in hell I'm paying that. Now, I'm in a bit of a time crunch, so I had to run all over town and find the stuff I needed. Fortunately, I was able to get everything I needed at my local parts store. I like to use CarQuest. They're owned by Advance Auto Parts, but you know, they had everything I needed. If you're not on a time crunch, and I actually saved, it only cost me about $200 for parts there. Now, the caveat is, I did order a K&N air filter, and that was another $100. But down in the description below, I will have links to everything you can order. The only thing I won't have there is the oil, because depending on where you live, some of these models take 15W40, some of them take 10W30. So my truck's a 10W30. I went with the Rotella T5. I got it at the parts store too. But all the filters and everything you'll need, I'll have links in the description, and you'll save a lot of money. Counting the K&N air filter, which was $100, I got $300 in what I need to change the oil in this, and they wanted $827. I don't know about you, but I'm in the business of saving $500 doing it my damn self. I've been maintaining my own vehicles since I was 16 years old. That's like 40 years, y'all. This is my first diesel truck, and this is my first oil change on it, so I'm going to be learning as I'm teaching y'all. And if I screw up, you're going to see it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is identify the location of all the things you're going to need to change. On the driver's side of the engine bay, directly behind and below your brake master cylinder, that's going to be where your fuel filter is. I'm going to try to point it out. Right there. And you're going to have to use a socket to get on top of that, pull that cap off. Now that yellow dewey right there, that's your drain. And we'll get to that. I'll tell you all about that when we get to it. In the right front passenger side wheel well, you're going to look through here, and there's your oil filter. And on the passenger side of the truck, right next to your fuel tank and directly above your drive shaft, that's going to be your fuel water separator. And then somewhere up there is the oil pan and the drain plug. If you can't find the oil pan and the drain plug, you probably ought to go ahead and take it to the dealer. First thing I'm going to do is pull my engine oil dipstick out, just leave it lay like that, and take my fill cap off. What you need for the oil pan plug is nothing more than a 3/8 breaker bar or ratchet, preferably with a long handle so you can get a little torque on it. Sometimes they can be pretty tight. Maybe that's loose enough. Yep. Alright, there's the oil. While we wait on that to drain, we'll move on to something else. Now we're going to work on the fuel water separator. This nipple right here, that's a drain. You're going to need to drain this, otherwise when you take this off, you're going to get, I don't know, 10, 12, 16 ounces of fuel all over the daggone place. And this is a drain screw right here. It's just a thumb screw. You can unscrew it with your thumb. So as soon as I get this going, I'll bring you right back. There we go. The fuel is draining into the empty jug. Now I'll just have to sit here and hold it till it's done draining. That's how much fuel came out of that fuel water separator. Using my 28mm socket, put it right here. I had to use a breaker bar to get it broke loose, and then use a ratchet and get it where it takes a little bit too. Get it to where you can loosen it up by hand, but don't take it all the way off, because chances are there's going to be some fuel come out of there. So that gallon Ziploc bag I had, I'm going to put up over it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this one-handed or not. Feed it up over it like that, and then hold it by the bottom, and then unscrew it. That way if any fuel comes out, it'll go in the bag. See that? I don't know if you can see it. You're bound to be able to see that. There. That way the fuel goes in the bag and not all over your dadgum floor or driveway. Oh, crap. Lost my light. Hold on. I'll be back. Well, don't spill it all over the floor out of the bag, dummy. I don't know if y'all can see what I just did or not. Probably not. But there's fuel in that cap too, so don't flip it over outside the bag. Dadgum. Alright, I'm going to have 2 hands for this, y'all. Alright, got the new fuel water separator. First thing I'm going to do, can y'all see what I'm doing yet? Got to take this old O-ring off the cap. Some people can pull them off with their fingers. I never have been able to, so just get you a pick, peel it off. Put your new one on there. Go around there and make sure it's not twisted, because that'll cause it to leak. And since you got fuel all over everything anyway, and on your hands, go ahead and wipe that down a little bit, just like you do on your oil filter. Now if you look at your separator on this 5th gen Ram, see these little notches right here. The 4th gens did not have this, and the parts store tried to sell me one for a 4th gen, saying it was the right one for my 2020, and it's not. So make sure you open it up, make sure it has this, because there's fittings up inside that filter housing that this has to prop up into, right, and it holds it in there. Also, you're going to orient it perpendicular to the drive shaft. So your drive shaft is running this way. These notches will go the same direction. You just pop it right back up in there. There's my notches. I'm going to turn them where they're the same direction as my drive shaft. Slide it up in there, and it pops right in place. That's why I had such a hard time pulling it out. You need 2 hands, but it does come out fairly easily. And then put your cap back up on it. And tighten it down. Manual says 22 foot-pounds. I'm not putting a torque wrench on it, so we'll just give it a few ugga-duggas, alright? If you'll look right here, I know the light's not real good. This is your oil filter, and you should be able to break it loose by hand. And naturally, as expected, I can't. Alright, I got the filter broke loose with my filter wrench. Now I'm unscrewing it by hand, and you may be asking yourself, well, how are you going to get that filter out of there without spilling oil everywhere? Well, you could use the same system with the Ziploc bag that I used on the fuel water separator, but I've got this handy dandy little tool here that if I can get this filter propped up, yep, just drop it straight down. It's not going anywhere. It will not fall out the bottom. It has to come out where my hand is, and I'm trying to get it propped up where it doesn't flip over. Alright, you can see the top of the filter. This cap screws into the top of the filter and keeps oil from leaking out. So you just reach back there with your hand, doing this blindly, try to get that screwed into the top of the filter without cross-threading it. It's got those two, it's got that handle on it. You just pull it out like that, and you don't spill any oil. Now I've got my new Mopar filter, and what I've done is I've filled it up about a third of the way full with fresh oil, and you could probably do this without using that little handy dandy little cap, but I didn't want to take a chance. The cap on, Make sure I didn't spill any of that fresh oil out. Alright, there's my cap. It's off. Now, just kind of feed it up in there, feel around, and screw the filter on. Make sure you also put a dab of oil all the way around that O-ring on the new filter. That helps it seal, and hopefully it won't be so damn hard to get off next time. This only needs to be hand tight, y'all. Don't put a filter wrench on it and crank down on it. Hand tight. There. Now I showed you the fuel filter at the beginning of the video. Right here's the cap that we're going to have to take off, just like on the fuel water separator. And that yellow knob right there is the drain. And I don't know, you probably can't see it real well, but there's actually a tube attached to it that comes out the bottom. The only problem is that dude's only about 3.5, maybe 4 inches long. That's what she said. So I'm going to take that 5/8 piece of hose I had and try to run it up over it, and then run that into my catch can and drain the fuel out. Same way. This actually has a number 2 Phillips head on it because that's kind of a reach down there, but you should be able to just twist it with your fingers. I'll probably end up using a screwdriver, but once I get that all set up, I'll show it to you and away we'll go. Basically, directly above your differential, that's where the drain tube's going to come out, right there. So I took that 5/8 inside diameter hose and worked it up over that hose, and then I ran it down here to my catch can. So now we can drain that fuel filter housing. It's draining out. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's draining. So we'll give that a few minutes till it stops, and then we'll go to work on taking the filter out. So I've got my 28mm, I've got a swivel, and a 12-inch extension in my ratchet. Golly! Alright, I'm gonna have to get another extension. Alright, now. There we go. Alright, so a 12-inch extension and a 6-inch extension. Alright. What you gotta do is reach over your master cylinder and then just grab a hold of it and pull it straight up and it'll pop loose. And I gotta set the camera down to finish getting it out, but it's loose. There's the old one, there's the new one. The old one still looks pretty good. Just like that, camera's not in the way, it came off no problem. Alright, there's the old one. Can you see that? Yep, there's the old one. Golly. Alright, gotta move the camera. Alright, the new O-ring is on there. It's red, you can see it. Run your fingers around it, make sure it's not twisted up. This filter has got an elongated hole on it, so it'll only go in there one way. Just put it down in there and kind of turn it around till you feel it fit, and then push it down till it seats. There it goes, just like that. Put your cap back on. Hand tight. And then put your socket with your 84 inches of extensions on there. And give her a couple ugga-duggas. One ugga-dugga. Two ugga-duggas. Now the only thing left to do is to put your 12 quarts of your preferred oil in it. Like I said, I'm using the Rotella T5 10W30. That's what my owner's manual recommended. Here's 1 gallon. And for those of y'all that ain't real bright, 12 quarts is 3 gallons. So buy 3 1-gallon jugs of oil. You'll be aight. I ain't judgy. I ain't real good at math either. And gallon number 3. Now you get up in your cab and you push your start over to run. You should be able to hear your fuel pump running. Don't put your foot on the brake. You don't want to start it. You're just priming the fuel system. Shut that damn door. Turn it off. Do it again. Do that at least 3 times before you try to start it. Engine light's flashing. Damn thing ain't even running. Turn it off. Do it again. Turn it off. And then try to start it. There we go. Almost good as new. Damn, my oil life was still at 75%. But I go by mileage. I don't go by these things. So once you get to your oil life, hit the right arrow button and hold it. Oh, okay. Ignition must be off. Okay. I did not realize that. Okay. Now the ignition is in the run position. Now, should be able to, yep, oil life is reset. Fuel filter life, same thing. Reset, yes. There we go. Now your fuel filter's reset. Everything's good to go. Hope y'all like this video. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Till the next time, keep the shiny side up and wrench on. Dagger! It's my puppy dog. It's beer 30. Later.